one patiently, and it seems like members ready on the Spanish stream, so we can actually go ahead and launch into game number 1. I'll leave you guys to it, and enjoy the games, everyone.
Okay, the 14-14 spams are flying in.
As to be expected.
Gives us some motivation.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final match of the 1v1 stage 1 of the Escape Champions League. In the yellow playing towards the south of the map, we have the Viper picking Turks, a very, very strong civilization. We are here on Arena today to kick off this final series. I've got Nilly with me today, one of the best casters in the game at the moment, one of the most experienced players and best we will see overall in this tournament at the moment. Let's utilize him. Get in here, Nilly. Introduce our other player.
Oh, you're too kind, my friend. And, well, Turks, a civilization that we kind of expected. On the other side, we have Byzantines here for our Chinese star player, Mr. Vivi. Well, obviously, bonuses for the Byzantines. Pretty sweet Monk Rush, having all technologies there, and the cheaper in timing. So we will expect some 1TC action out of him.
Absolutely. There's going to be some early aggression here today, and it's what we want to see. Both players ending up with a grenade pin style arena. That is having this back area they can kind of move into and retreat to should they need to with extra resources.
Oh, and just look at the Viper effect. You are talking about extra resources, and the Viper close to his back deer, even having some extra berries. Too sweet for him.
Now that's what you want to see at the start of a series. Every little bonus you'll take, you'll get in there. What are we thinking civ-wise here? Turks obviously aggressive. You got the buys as well, heaps of trash. Nilly, give us that experience. Tell us what you got.
Tricky stuff, right? Byzantines, pretty good. As I said, when it comes to something early impish, wants to go for block printing, give him his extra range for those monks would be lovely. And the problem is, monks in Castle Age won't perform too well against those Jennies. Once the Viper has a castle up, he's somewhat safe there. Once he has Jennies out, only one less range and massive damage output. Pretty sweet. And the big problem would also be if we get onto bombard cannons with 14 range.
Man, they just force so many engagements, especially from the buys. Even though they've got that cheaper trash, end of the day, bombard cannons, 14 range, you can take those guys out without even worrying about it.
Yeah, that's so true. And, well, the Viper ground attack, I would just remember, you might have remembered that old game. It was War is Coming, offline finals. And it was Turks against Turks, both slung Riot against the Viper. And it was Bombard Cannon Micro against Bombard Cannon Micro. And the Viper out-microed probably the top 2 in the world being Riot out that game. I want to see the same micro again today.
Absolutely. The actions from Viper at the moment, if you watch the way he splits up his units when mangonels come in, when bombard cannons come in, just utilize 4 or 5 crossbows to get as much damage in the back as possible, this is your man.
Oh yeah, your man indeed. Going for boar number 2. Obviously, arena start has to be super clean. There should not happen anything else. The thing is, the Viper can easily push this deer. Vivi, well, he needed to open his walls at the top here.
Absolutely. As good a micro as we have seen from the Viper in the past, end of the day, Vivi, we have seen some super aggressive games from overall. If he pushes forward, gets the damage and gets on his roll, Viper could be out of luck very, very quickly.
Oh, and something I didn't really realize before that. There was an arena tournament not too long ago, and since we play with Warlord Kingdoms, the Rise of Raja expansion, normally stone walls have only 900 HP in Dark Age and Feudal Age. But here they have 1.8k for the Turks, and obviously Byzantines a bit more. So early tower rush or some shenanigans of that kind, not possible here.
Absolutely. The wall health is going to add an extra little bit. Castle is going to be what the players need to get to before any real damage. Looking at the map, though, Viper does have his main gold there towards the eastern side. Or the western side of his map overall there. A castle there from Vivi, we could see potentially that get denied and push Viper back. The good news is, does have the gold in the back there, so does have a defense if that does happen.
Yeah, offensive castles somewhat tricky, right? Against bombard cannons. It is just so tough to play. If I could choose of both civilizations, I think I'd always go for the Turks here. It just feels so strong.
So if that's the case, then we've got Turks out, a very heavy civilization. Obviously, Castle Age, they can start really pushing with Janissaries. As soon as they get up into Imp, you've got free chemistry into Bombards, into hand cannoneers if you want to push it out. Free Hussars, of course, for bulk. What do you think prompted the pick then for the buys? Why do you think he went for this?
Well, we probably need to think about the whole map pool here, and you just have to outsmart the other guy. Maybe thought, okay, he expect me to go for that, this, that. It's just like so much rock, paper, scissors there with 10 civilizations to choose from.
Yeah, absolutely. Viper kind of predicting an attack on this front as well. You can see from the way he's laying his houses out, from the start, he's kind of walling towards that town center. He's preparing everything he can.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he should do. Kind of wants to prevent some aggression from the right-hand side. You see him sending 2 villagers on gold. Does not need more since he won't loom. And as the bonus of the Turks as well here, 8 on wood, pushing in the last year. Vivi only at number 3 at the moment. Already at 4 farms. The Viper only forcible 2 at the moment.
Probably the other thing worth mentioning as well at this point, neither player really have a backwood to retreat to. Viper's got a little bit in the south there, but if we look over at Vivi's map, once he gets pushed away from basically the front of his base, he has nowhere really to kind of pull back in and kind of go from there. Vivi overall, hopefully on the aggressive side, like we saw him absolutely play some amazing games versus Leary overall, but end of the day, he's got a little bit less to retreat to.
Probably an ugly spot for him. Most of the time we think like Arena, yeah, you have enough wood in the back anyways, but yeah, some aggression if he gets onto the left-hand side. But, well, honestly, if he gets pushed from that wood line, most of the time he's probably dead anyways.
Absolutely. Probably the other thing to kind of take note of here as well, the relic placement actually looking kind of fair to me. I would say Vivi maybe has a slight advantage on that point with the 2 next to his walls there. But overall, it's kind of anyone's game. No one spawned with a relic inside their base. So looking good for both people here. And Blacksmith Market, of course, we're seeing there from Vivi.
And interesting that the Viper didn't use the market to really get his walls up there. He had enough gold. Take those 2 villagers out. And now sending 3 more villagers onto stone. So we'll be... Oh, no. Now number 6. So all good. We'll have the castle up at roughly the 18-minute mark. All safe in the hood.
Exactly. This is kind of what we're expecting for both players at this point in the game. Both of them kind of just booming up at the moment. For those players that don't usually, well, for people joining us that aren't big fans that have kind of played the game as much of us, Arena, of course, starting off with these walls around, you can't push into them in dark. You can't push in through feudal. You have to get up to at least Castle Age before you can move through those, utilizing rams, utilizing mangonels, anything to kind of get through those, even a forward castle. But these guys at this point, going to be impossible to get through. So we're seeing both players jump up to Castle Age nice and early. Viper's starting to get his eco upgrades now. We're looking strong.
And Vivi thought it is a likely option for him to go for monks, but that will be more like 2 monastery. No, like 3 monastery full out aggression. He only has 4 villagers on gold now. I'm expecting him to go like 2 monasteries, 1 extra TC, and then try to adjust the strategy.
Yeah, looking at the stone count now from Viper, I think we're expecting a castle. The question is going to be how he wants to play this series out. He's obviously got the option to drop it kind of defensively next to his gold, push out with some Janissaries, maybe a Mangonel, try and get some damage in there, or drop it right on the face of Vivi. Does he want to kind of try and deny the stone and the gold there towards the south of Vivi's walls?
He wants to, but I think it makes so much more sense to build it at home and play the long game here. Beautiful thing for the Viper is now that he's Castle Age, he gets the free light calf upgrade as well. And I was somewhat wrong. Vivi actually adding 2 TCs here. But what is he doing with all his surplus gold? He's not really using all his resources at the moment.
Interesting. He's kind of dedicated a little bit too much out in terms of the economic lead there. He's got the 2 town centers coming up, one on that gold and wood, the other on the stone and wood, so really good placement. Viper, though, having a little bit of extra resource in the bank there, still got 2 villages on the wood. I'm wondering if he's starting to kind of go for a town center play behind this as well.
Well, he keeps 2 villagers on stone. It's kind of an indicator that he wants to go for indeed that. The question is, will he go for Jenny's? Will he try to boom? He does not see much. His scout around, he sees 1 monastery being built, knows that there's no aggression. but not the greatest of intels.
So there's the second town center coming down for Viper on the gold as well. Obviously going for a gold heavy play. Pretty much exactly what we expect to see out of, I would say, Turks in general, just because without gold, Turks fall apart, which was kind of the reason I was wondering if Vivi was going to push forward onto that gold mine.
And how would you call the Viper if he just gets grilled from Vivi this game?
I would call him snake meat, which apparently tastes like chicken. So we'll see if he is a chicken in the end or not. But
Why wouldn't you
really
call him barbecue Turk, man?
Why?
Okay, moving on. First scout going down for villager advantage here for Vivi.
So looking at what we've got the monks out in defense for Vivi there, getting the second one up as well, so kind of defends where he wants to go with their overall. And let's have a look.
Well, now we see, beautiful micro there, getting that Janissary that actually was getting converted back. And now the problem is 8 ranged Janissaries against 9 ranged monks here. Needs to only take 2 shots to die, and first one going down, the Viper. Somewhat of a solid start.
The micro is strong here from Viper, trying to get the damage in where he can, sniping those monks. Oh, that monk's on low HP, and he's trying to run away as best he can with his old legs.
And honestly, what do you think about those farms from Vivi at the front? He knew that he would probably go for the later aggression and wanted to fall back and boom.
Let's have a look at what's going to kind of happen here. Like I was saying, we did have that town center come up behind for Viper, so looking good overall. He's managing to keep his economy up. Of course, we do have Vivi moving forward a little bit.
Tricky situation. Those monks now with Sanctity will survive a third shot now, but it's still pretty tricky. The Viper, one forward villager, still without Loom, but will add a siege workshop, and Vivi needs to come up with something pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Obviously, having the longer kind of game styling here that he's going for with the extra TCs, the longer the game's for, the more it kind of works out into his favor. But end of the day, if he can't hold, what's the point?
Yeah, well, there was no point. He needs to make something happen. Mangnal defense, trust me, not really on the list of counters there. They are getting outranged, so it's tricky for Vivi.
Man, we haven't even seen a single convert yet by the looks of things from Vivi as well. Doing a great job here with the Janissaries, splitting them up. This is the action we were kind of talking about from Viper. He's got that amazing ability to just disperse his units. There's the first convert.
Oh, and that must have felt bad. You saw like, you're sitting there with 8 of your friends, and suddenly all turn to you, traitor, and shoot you.
Not a fan, especially that swap over. Overall, Siege Workshop is coming up at the front, so Viper looking to get aggressive here. Realizes that Vivi's starting to get ahead in terms of villager count. Needs to get and do damage, and here comes the Scorpion. How do you feel about that getting blasted away instantly?
What? That's, I believe Scorpion is even worse than Mangonel. Like, even if you get a shot off, which is kind of unlikely, you don't even kill a Janissary really. With Mangonels, you can maybe do something, but oh god, the Viper just so active. Only got 1 conversion against him. At the moment, Vivi's KD, well, it shows 06. He got 1 conversion, but not a real kill this whole game.
And on top of that as well, how expensive these monks are. You can't afford to just throw them away like it's happening now. You need results from them. He's only got the 1 convert.
He's adding archer ranges now. The question is, will it be skirms or crossbowmen? Looking at the amount of villagers on gold, he is kind of switching into crossbowmen, which somehow could work if he wasn't behind like 20 Janissaries to 0 crossbowmen at the moment.
This is an interesting one from Viper. We didn't see the Mangonels here. Mangonels generally a safer kind of play because obviously they're harder to kill off. But right now, we see Viper just hammering away. He wants to get in there. He wants to do the damage and bring this back to an equal economy.
Oh man, and if the economy ever gets equal, it is basically game for Vivi. Let's take a look. What is he trying to go for? He goes for elite skirmishes. Obviously cheaper here for our Byzantine players, so not the worst option. Now the move in here, let's take a look at the amount of converts.
Oh man, there we go. The Scorpion getting taken down again so easily. Janissary's moving back, trying to not get the converts there. Only the 9 range on those, but here come the converts. We've got 2 by the looks of things. Mangonel, good hit there, but not going to be enough.
Oh god, and look at that KD. 3-20 now. The monks going down. No more phase on them. One monk coming in, but now the first monastery going down. Viper suddenly in the lead when it comes to population.
Oh, this is rough. Obviously from this one here as well. Vivi gonna need to sacrifice most of the front of his base here. This could be a lot of villagers down. He's trying to throw the castle up.
Oh, Doubt called. He wants his castle back. This is not really going to work. There will be so many dead villagers. Rams around even. I think that could even go up 75%.
I think he's going to power it up, but he's losing so many villagers. There's the retreat from Viper, not looking to lose his lead here, but he's equal to villager count. That's it, back to the start.
Oh, got it. But still, military count now 20-10 at least. Mangonauts getting somewhat sniped. Rams trying to find some damage. First archery range down. Let's maybe take a look at the resources here of the Viper. He has a lot of gold. Wants to get imp pretty soon, I assume.
He has gone up to 3 TCs as well, so from those kills on the castle there, he should be able to equal and maintain at least a solid lead or connection overall. So going to be strong there, taking out the archery range, just doing damage where he can. And again, income the converts.
Okay, Vivi is doing okay, I have to say. Let's take a look at his resources on the other side. A bit more at the limit, but as we all know, it's cheaper for him, and maybe he can get onto lead skirmishes, Bracer, the Viper, losing a bit of steam now.
That's it. Once the castle's up, it does really stop the kind of aggressive play in its tracks. The good news, though, looking at Viper's economy, he's just about got the food count to go up to Imperial, so he's going to be able to start looking at that bombard cannon play. Then the castle's not going to be too much of an obstacle.
The Viper clicked up now and looking at Vivi's resources. Look at that, 60 food, 300 gold. TC's not even fully producing. He just continues with the big skirm production. Doesn't even have university.
This is hurting a lot. Elite skirmishes, of course, and answer to Janissaries. The question is, though, how do you counter Janissaries? They're in mass, they do so much damage. The Mangonels, they outrange. The castle was a good play, and it looks like he's going for the economy there.
Yeah, the counter against those Janissaries maybe could have been something like Mass Knights, but do you really want to go for those without really having bloodlines? And obviously in a scenario, he can always fall back on his castle. Not really.
It looks like he will clean up most of his Janissaries here. Skirmishes, of course, going to get taken down, but they're streaming in. A quick wall off there from Vivi might gain him a little bit of time overall as well. The castle coming up on the front, Siege Workshop at the front as well. Did get the Janissary there converted at the front. Might potentially get the Mangonel. Nope.
And honestly, I love the last 3-4 minutes from Vivi. He is doing everything right. He was in a tough situation, was behind in military heavily, didn't go for any like tower defense trying to save it off. I think he did a great job. He's still heavily behind, but a lesser player would already be in game 2 here.
Absolutely, that was a huge aggressive push from Viper. He powered up the castle. He didn't, I would say it was kind of a little bit of a panic castle, but at the same time, that's what's kept him alive. It's a good call. He's done well.
Yeah, okay, now the imp timing. Well, Vivi is trying to buy himself up to imp. Now clicked, but the difference will be 3 whole minutes.
It's going to hurt. This is going to give the time Viper to get those bombard cannons up, get the push there overall. Of course, he's going to get the free Hussar as well. He's got a lot of resource in the bank. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how Viper plays this one out. The answer is probably going to be a lot of gunpowder, get a Treb out, some bombard cannons. In fact, probably not even going to get the Treb, just rely on bombard cannons and just stream Janissaries in.
Elite Janissary upgrade. How is he having such a good eco behind that very aggressive push? That's just enormous. Like, other players are trying to play this like 1 TC push. The Viper makes it happen with 3 TCs, and simply, again, it's the guy who boomed and defended so well. To be on equal footage there with the villagers, very impressive.
Man, that's it. Getting such an eco up behind this, because generally Turks will all in a lot of the time as well, which means if you push that away like I guess Vivi had there early on, that kind of ends the game for a player there very quickly and you can push out against. Viper getting up to those 3 TCs so early though, oh, it's tasty.
Yeah, agreed. One thing I don't really like from the Viper is that although he had like map control basically from minute 16 on, but he never really thought about picking up those relics. Vivi obviously had a lot of monks out, but yeah, just having 1 monk collecting them would have been nice. He tried it now, but lost the villager. Now the raid at the gold.
Man, it's just so effective right now in terms of the way the players are playing. Pushing down with those elite skirmishers, trying to get a little bit of map control back here. You can see Viper actually patrolling the Hussar up the top there towards the relic as well. Just keeping an eye out in case the sneaky monk comes out to try and grab that.
Oh, and one unfortunate thing. Let's go into the point of view of Vivi here and take a look at the top gold spot in the north of the map. Vivi does not see it, and that's unfortunate for him because he's slowly running out of gold.
I'm counting 40 left on that original one. Oh man, I hope he explores down there, but I feel like it might be lost. It is in a very bizarre situation to kind of find that gold. Mangonels, Trebs, we're seeing the full army of the Turks here really start to pull into it. Janissary's backing that up against Skirms. This is rough.
Oh man, and Bomber Tower upgrade as well. That is just rough indeed. Well, that's just the pure power of those Turks, and well, Resonance 22 and Zero Empires have to be so happy looking at that.
That's it, mate. As soon as you kind of get powering forward as Turks, if you've got map control, gold to back it up, you're just going to be producing and manufacturing some of the strongest units in the game. There's artillery on the way from Viper as well, even going for the unique tech. Man, this is rough.
Hallelujah, man. And well, that gives them 14 rage. I just want to say it at the start, like, I have a lot of knowledge about this game, but actually we are seeing it now, and that will just give him such a good thing. Like 14 range in Age of Empires is just ridiculous.
Oh man, using those bombard cannons, there we go, with that massive 14 range, taking on the skirmishers, because end of the day, skirmishers aren't built to take cannonballs.
Not really, yeah. That's not your greatest day if someone tells you, yeah, let's go to work, try to snipe something, and then cannonballs are flying in your head. Oh, poor little scum.
Look, not a good sign at all. It's got to do something for your confidence. Bombard tower's been thrown up on the front as well. Viper looking to kind of establish his dominance here, put down a staging point, and push forward from there.
And beautiful other move. He is patrolling with the Hussar there at the top, keeping the stranglehold on. And now we see some micro there. Bombard cannon against bombard cannon, but that's just simply 14 range against 12 range. Not really an even footing.
Exactly, the range making it so much easier to kind of deal with. The Trebs are down, however, so the castle will stand a really good defense here from Vivi. But like we've said, running out of gold. What's he going to do here?
Oh, he's trying to expand towards the left-hand side. That's unspotted by the Viper for now. Going for mass skirmishers, obviously. What is? Oh, the Hussar.
He spotted it. The Hussar patrols worked out for him there in the long run. He knew it was coming. There we go. He can push that back, and this is going to be the beginning of the end for Vivi if he gets starved to death here.
Oh, that's just so unfortunate for him. Simply the fact that he didn't scout that one at the top would have been another 2.4k gold. There's another 12 traps or maybe some other upgrades heading to his skirmishers. Castle number 1 at the left-hand side is going down. Oh, the Viper. Relentless aggression.
Absolutely. Scale barding coming down from Viper as well. Looking to get that Hussar meat there in the way as well. Soak up the damage of the skirmishers. Just run them under and do the damage.
And the Viper only now building his first barracks of the day. And yeah, that really shows you that Hussar was still from the start here, picking up some relics. And well, Vivi needs to make some magic happen.
Man, if there's someone that's going to make it happen, I believe in Vivi this time around too. We've seen how good his aggressive play can be. But these bombard towers at the front here, they just make it nearly impossible to push into this.
Indeed, and Vivi realizes that and is typing the GG.
There we go, guys. Good game. Number 1 on the cards there. Going to the Viper. What are we thinking? What are we expecting? Is this what we thought we'd see in this match? Let us know in the chat.
It is tricky, right? Well, we kind of try to think about how the civilizations would perform. We said Turks feel stronger, and Byzantines, I think they need to be more creative than 3-2C boom and just pray to defense.
Absolutely, this is rough. Looking at the units killed there, 151 killed for Viper, only 52 lost. This is good.
Oh god, that KD is just indeed brutal there. 3-1. The better eco behind that as well. And well, Vivi had a solid start, those 1456 there as his castle age timing. You have to love that, but 3-minute imp timing was enough to get the bombard cannons out and then, well, let the death ball start rolling.
I guess the rest is history at this point. But that eco behind it, that's where he had it. Even though the first push was kind of, I guess, held and then eventually kind of pushed back with Vivi's aggressive style. End of the day, Viper just boomed up behind that and he was just ready to go for round 2.
And I'm ready for round 2 as well. Zach, tell us, what is the next map? What are the tips?
What do we got?
Well, Cross is coming up next, and that is a super exciting map. I think, to be honest with you, Arena there, probably the map where Viper has the biggest advantage over Vivi. He's one of the, well, he won the last massive arena, right? Like, he's the best on that map.
He won the last everything.
Yeah, okay, he won the last everything. But Arena especially, I think he had the Civ to start with, and we all know Turks is the best Civ in the game. And
We know
basically, well, we know now. I mean, I've been saying it for years, but maybe now you'll believe me. But yeah, seriously, he had all the tools and he played it right. I think Vivi, you know, he tried to make the monks work, but Viper just out-microed him. And from there, it just kind of snowballed, basically. And it was really unfortunate for... Well, it wasn't unfortunate, actually. We shouldn't say it's unfortunate. It was poor scouting from Vivi that cost him the gold in the north. He didn't scout it. He didn't see it. And therefore, he ran out of gold. And, well, the rest is history. So Game 2, Cross coming up next. Super exciting map. Maybe you guys can talk about that a little bit, and we'll get the next game going.
One thing I still want to mention... It obviously was unfortunate that he didn't scout it, but he also had 4 deer outside, pretty far away, and his scout needed to be busy to push that. So that was somewhat forcing him to invest his scouting time into something else. Otherwise, with a better map, he could have scouted that gold a bit better. But Cross, Mr. Turkey Turkman, what will we see? Probably not Vikings.
I hope not Vikings. We saw that in the last series and it really hurt. Looks like we're jumping into the next game now. We'll introduce some players, introduce ourselves, and then kick in some analysis.
Sounds great. I'm ready. My body is ready. The Viper leading 1-0 here. Vivi is known to be a comeback boy, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 in our final series for stage 1 of the Escape Champions League. Currently, we have Viper up after an arena victory, 1-0 over Vivi, playing towards the north of the map in his trademark yellow. We have the Viper as the Huns, a trademark civilization for Cross. I'm lucky enough to be in the driver's seat here with Nilly, one of the best casters in the game at the moment. Bring it in, man.
I'm bringing it in. So Hans mirror matchup coming our way. Obviously a beautiful civilization for this. Great if you want to go for early flushes. So nice that you don't have to build houses. Can go for some beautiful fishing booms. I like that civilization quite a bit for this map.
Man, this is fantastic overall. We've got a Huns War, known to be one of the classic civilization choices. Going to be a lot of damage overall, we're going to see here. Of course, houses not coming up. Walls not an option with houses. What are you seeing, mate? Bring me into the loop.
Okay, so most of the time, it's a fight for the pawns. Those fishing ships are giving you such a big eco boost, as we saw in the Yo against Viper series. No chance of coming back if you are down to, well, that was even the worst case, like 4-0 pawns. But if you go down 2-1 pawns and your enemy has like 6-7 more fishing ships than you do, well, it's such an uphill battle, really tricky to play. And that's the beauty of this map. Water and land is important.
Awesome. So from this one here overall, we know the ponds make a huge difference. We've seen what happens if you don't go towards the ponds in an earlier series overall. If we've learned anything about Vivi in this series, though, thus far, it's he is the comeback master. If anyone's going to come back from like a 1-0, a 2-0, this is our man in the end of the day. Viper, of course, can still lose out here, but let's see what happens.
Well, Vivi, he is known to play out some aggression, and I believe like this version of Cross and the positioning is actually good for him, because if I had to mention like the big strengths of Viper in this is the tricky pawn control, roll over, control the map, make it a weird scenario, but this one feels kind of straightforward.
I would say from kind of the play we've seen from the Viper in the last couple of games overall, the big thing that Viper's kind of addressed is the fact that he wants to go super eco behind this. So really huge amounts of fishing ships. I think it's where he wants to go.
And that's how you play this map, right? But it just feels like this is well, I called the pond of Mr. Yo pretty safe as well. But Vivi should not lose his pond. The Viper should not lose his pond at the top. And then we are contesting pond number 3 and 4, but on absolute even footing. And the safe pond is a good start for Vivi, I would say.
Absolutely. Both players looking like they're going to be in a relatively good stat here. Both players, 15 villages, 1 military, of course, their scout. Docks were up around about the same time. We're seeing some pretty standard kind of plays from him here. Checking out the scouting, it looks like Viper has already found his opponent. Vivi not scouted out yet, only just found 2 more of his sheep.
Yeah, he played this quite defensively for sure with his scout. And, well, had the unfortunate spot. And, oh, he didn't see his gold spot number 2 there in the showers. That could be somewhat ugly in the very long run, but I think the villagers somehow randomly will scout it. Something I wanted to mention, 5 villagers on wood from the Viper, now adding number 6. And for the longer time, we had Vivi with 6 there as well, indicating that he will go for more than only 4 fishing ship here.
Good stuff. This is what we've come to expect from Viper at this point. Same goes for Vivi, actually. Both of them play that big economy game as much as they can. Use that and then try and steamroll their opponent. So hopefully this time around, we should see a huge Imperial-style battle.
Well, Imperial 8, that's something we will see, well, potentially. I believe the map is just too open. Like, it could easily go into Imperial 8, but we will see a lot of fighting before that. You see players not really setting up the biggest walls yet. Yeah, some walls to the left-hand side, want to secure their pawns, but still very open map.
Idle Villager from Viper there towards the north with his wall off, only just getting it back on there at the moment. Going to cost him some seconds. Obviously, the wall off going to be quite a good play. Like we've seen from players in the past, they kind of go for walls in these tournament settings just because it is a nicer time to feel safe.
Oh, and look at that. Vivi wanted to wall with the female villager there, but now thinks better of it. Wants to sneak her through and send another builder there to finish the walls. Let's take a look. And one scout around. Will maybe engage that villager, the Viper. Let's see. Can he wall this one? Not really.
Is he going to scout the villager coming through? There we go. He's seen it. He won't miss something like that on the minimap. He knows this is coming. Will he get the scout on top of it? He's even got the scout patrolling the pond there.
I don't think he saw it yet. I'm pretty sure he didn't see it.
Oh,
where's
man.
the villager? Oh, did he?
Wait,
Oh,
that
he
game
saw
sense.
it. Aye. Yeah.
Even if he didn't, the game sense is on point. Will he
Yeah.
get the wall up on time, or will this just be a lost villager? Not going to get it up quick enough.
Just think about, why would the scout ever be there and attack the builder there? It had to be a sneak, right? It's like easy to say for us, but it was kind of suspicious how the scout moved there.
Very true. End of the day, you can miss things. There's a lot going on in this game, and the speed that players play at to get to this kind of level, really, really hard to keep an eye on everything, obviously. But there goes Viper's scout. The villager kind of just, I guess it's wasting the time of 2 villagers there, so it's not a complete loss. End of the day, though, this will be a dead villager for free for Viper.
Oh, well, I think if only one is chasing, the distance is quite far. I think he could go for a wall off there. Let's take a look. What are we going for on land? That looks like stable from both players. Vivi, 2 fishing ship ahead.
Interestingly, managed to get ahead on the fishing ship so quickly. Neither player going for the extra dock yet. Obviously, probably not to be expected, but always a good thing to keep an eye on. I don't think we're going to really see any transport shenanigans, though, sadly, with the layout of these ponds.
No, that's, yeah, something we could see on other stuff. We saw it on Budapest before, but not in this game. I love that Vivi keeps adding fishing ship. Now, soon to be 4 ahead.
Interesting. We are seeing that lead kind of go towards Vivi here, which is fantastic. Because, like I was saying earlier, Viper's been playing some big, aggressive, just economic games, expanding as much as he can. If Vivi manages to cut him off here in his own strategy, this is what we want.
Oh, and look at the point of view of Vivi here. He is sending villagers out. 1 to the bottom corner, 1 to the right-hand side corner. Well, they will get caught off guard, unfortunate, but he will get a kill himself.
That's a great catch there on the villagers. Obviously, just using that game sense to kind of hear out as much as he can. Viper going for his trademark Viper wall, not getting it though, and evening that one up nice and quickly.
Okay, so that might result into 2 against 1 point. The walls of the Viper didn't finish. I'd love to see Vivi's walls actually being a bit more at the front. What do you think? Like the gold? Not super protected against ranged units.
Absolutely, it makes it a little bit more effective, but from where that's going down, like you've said, any kind of archers, fletching, things like that, it will be able to push them off. At the same time, we can see some scouts coming out for Vivi, so potentially he's trying to take map control at this point, so not worrying about it too much, but again, if archers do get back here and control is taken, could be a problem.
Look, well, yeah, archers. Well, we have to get into archers first, right? The Viper is going for 3 on gold now, and he is doing some massive walls and accepting that he will only have 1 pawn here. Very untypical Viper style, I have to say. Oh no, he has a second.
All right, cool. So I was about to say, he's not one to give up that economic lead at all if he can't. Same goes for Vivi, though. Vivi getting the second dock down. Looks like it's going to be a little bit slower. Still ahead in terms of the amount of fishing ships he has, but Viper potentially able to catch up here, depending on how much he wants to commit in.
Yeah, we'll see how much he will commit. We will see Vivi now going with the Spearman aggression, something we wanted to see from you on the Acropolis game, for example, a bit more. And now let's take a look, trying to take this engagement. I believe this is good for Vivi, getting 2 kills, only losing 1.
Awesome. This is what we want to see, making those smart engagements. A couple of spears there make all the difference. The rate they hit these horses for and the damage do have bloodlines on them, but still, the trade is good.
And, well, I don't like that Vivi is continuing to build scouts now. He sees that the wall off is complete. And I said the Viper wasn't contesting the pawns anymore. I was right, and I was wrong at the right-hand side. And he's even going for the south one. Let's take a look. Are the scouts in time? Not really. And Vivi is going for the wrong unit here, the galley.
If you actually check out the point of views there in terms of fog of war, Viper couldn't see the dock was going up right next to Vivi. Vivi could see the dock coming up. But is he going for galleys?
That's
Interesting.
the wrong choice. And he even had a fire galley queued up. Cancelled the fire galley to then go for the galley, which will just lose the 1v1 against the fire galley.
Absolutely. Not sure why that's happened. And again, another Viper trademark wall to keep that villager alive. Scouts coming to the rescue. And the big difference here going to be Viper has bloodlines, no bloodlines in for Vivi.
Still 5 against 4. Let's take a look. This should be a pretty even one, if you ask me. Damage output obviously higher here for Vivi. We'll get some kills off in the end. It is still even.
Tight. The hill advantage there going for Viper. Looks like he will clean this up with some spears coming in. Vivi, though, up to Castle Age nice and early.
Adding a second galley. This feels so weird. Sneaky villager now at the right-hand side. Vivi, another dock. So that will be as contested as we were hoping for.
Interesting. What we're seeing, though, the 2 fire ships, like you've said, going to be able to deal with the galleys very, very quickly. Fish scores, though, we are up to 12 apiece, so even on the water.
Okay, makes it an even game. What are the people transitioning into? We will see Vivi going for the CA tech, Viper as well.
A little bit of a spear skirmish going down here, basically tickling each other as far as the damage is done. But there we go, Vivi cleaning it up, going to be able to keep the scouts of Viper at bay nice and easily now. Double archery range up and ready to go.
Double archery range. I'm a bit surprised how many farms we're seeing of Vivi. He knew that he had a lot of fishing ships still working for him. Obviously, they, lose some efficiency, but still, I think he has too much food.
Oh man, looking at this right now, going up into a triple archery range, really going to commit to this. There goes Bloodlines as well, so potentially going to move into cavalry archers there. The thing I'm liking from Viper, though, on that south pond, he's got the demolition raft sitting there ready if he needs it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just so good, and it feels like Vivi just misplayed that pond situation. Well, luckily he gets the one at the top up, or the right-hand side up, so that's good for him. In the center, some scout losses.
There goes the demo. Viper could potentially get a really good demo here in the South Pond, and that's about as good as it was going to get.
Absolutely. He has to be happy with that. Still the Viper with the full control here. And now we will see who goes into Mortier. The Viper even goes for War Galley. 3 archery ranges from him. Vivi also 3 archery ranges. Upgrades will be pretty equal. Bloodlines +2 against Bloodlines +2 +1. Small advantage for the Viper, but unfortunate woodline at the front.
That's a really good point to make as well. The cavalry archers are going to be able to raid that woodline quite easily, especially in that little nook they've got there, pushing him off wood because, like you've said, overall eco very, very, very similar. It's just a couple of fishing ships that are making the difference now, 1 or 2 villages. It's going to come down to that cavalry archer war in terms of who has more on the field and who's getting the damage in.
And we will see about that. Husband now from both players, realizing how important that is just to have the extra speed on those CAs there as well. So much easier to chase, so much easier to run away if you want to. I think it will just come down to all the masses. Is someone taking onto ballistics here?
Yes, we've got Viper throwing up a university back at home. I guess the big thing we need to be looking at now is, though, the wall-off situation. Who do you think has the better wall-off to kind of prevent the damage from the cavalry archers?
I think it's both with one layer of palisades, so not that important. I think at the moment it's just massing the numbers, getting good fights is the most important thing. Real raiding, not really an option.
Absolutely. So behind that as well, we can see equal upgrades on the cavalry archers. Just trying to take those engagements, pick off 1 or 2 where they can, get out before they lose too many. They're trying at the moment to build those numbers up without losing too many of their own.
Oh, and Vivi just wasting more fire galley there. The Viper invested a lot into the control of those pawns, is doing a beautiful job there. One TC play from Vivi, the Viper at the same time. Without a single farm at the moment, and 2 TCs.
Utilizing those fishing ships as best they can. Both players going for ballistics, very, very similar timing. This is how you can see exactly how good this is overall. These players know exactly what they're doing. Town watch for Viper, thumb ring for Vivi. It's good.
Thumb ring might be the one deciding factor here. Ballistics finishing somewhat similar for both players, but the Viper with the defender's advantage holding for now. Vivi needs to go back on the hill.
Exactly. 4th range coming down. 5th range coming down from Viper. He is committing. 2nd town center up as well. So it looks like he's trying to eco up behind this, utilizing those ships.
4 archer ranges, and that's exactly what the Viper needs now. Trying to take that small advantage, evening it out with thumping pretty soon. Vivi a bit sloppy here with that engagement. Oh, beautiful micro there by the Viper, pulling back that 1 CA. Gets 2 kills.
Man. This is what we kind of want to see. Coming down for Vivi, though, we do have the 2nd armor upgrade. Going to give him a little bit more defense. The thing I'm starting to worry about now is we are seeing, I guess, Vivi expand out. Of course, he has a little bit less room there, but what are your thoughts?
Oh, God. Well, that's the tricky stuff here. The CA are coming maybe in time. It is now 6 archer ranges against only 4. So the production clearly on the side of our Norwegian superstar.
Absolutely. I'm just checking at the moment. Is he managing to produce from all ranges? He's producing from every range at the same time. This is an insane dedication over into archery.
Yeah, and that's just like optimizing the eco, right? Just having not a single farmer is so good in this spot. Yeah, allowing him to go for this amazing production.
And that's it. As essentially what's going to be the game decider here. Oh, look at this pincer!
Oh, God, and that's all losses. He didn't even shoot once yet. He might get 1 villager, but all the CA down. Military count suddenly, basically quadruple for the Viper here. Clears up everything. This will be full-out attack. Ay. What can Vivi really do?
That is strategy. Coming in from the other side, making sure he couldn't escape. Bloodlines singing there, not taking any damage on it. Ballistics just doing the damage it needed to do. Elite skirmisher in defense from Vivi. Good decision. But right now, military count 41-9.
Well, and his reaction now is mass skirmisher, mass mangonel. And that's okay if your enemy stays on mass CA. But the Viper, well, he already has some upgrades for his scouts. So a night transition could easily finish Vivi here. Let's see, maybe the CAs would do the job before
This
that.
isn't looking at painful. That's it right now. We've got the 3rd town center up on the front for Viper. So Viper not giving in any economy now as well. And in come the cavalry archers.
Oh, Elite Skirmish is trying to defend here, but CA numbers just so big. I don't really see Vivi taking any good engagements. Now even the Siege Workshop Ram train starting and the stables that I wanted to see, +1 defense. Viper is going for the kill.
That's it. As soon as we start seeing Rams on the field, we know they're not scared. They want to get in. They want to do the damage. They're killing now.
Oh, now even sending villagers here to the front. What is he doing? Mangonel's just dancing around, not getting the kills. The Viper just so efficient and even killing the fishing ship now.
Scale barding on the way in as well, so we will have those knights to compete with those mangonels quite easily. The combination here is looking really good. Viper's economy just going unchecked.
Yeah, that's just so sweet. Still having, well, 3 pawns. Well, the starting pawns aren't really that important anymore, but, well, going for the full stable aggression now. 3 stables working for him, and that will just smash the Magnuts and Skirms. Vivi needs
Vivi,
some crazy
Vivi
Magnuts.
trying to expand out to the center there, trying to get that extra gold, but it's noticed by the cavalry archers, forced to abandon it, and
Numbers simply too high here, and now the Knights are coming in, going experience. The Viper is going for the kill, as I said before. Skirmish is trying to block something. All the CAs coming over. The TC will be blocked. Vivi, out of options.
look at the Knights just soaking up that damage. They're trying to get rid of the Mangonels, the big thing that could really do damage to the Viper now. Look at the Concave. This is what we want to see. All those cavalry archers doing as much damage as possible. Knights streaming in.
Oh, and again, well, he fought his way up to like 25 military, but the Viper just relentlessly pushing in. The Rams are moving forward as well. If the Siege Workshop goes down, I think there's no more chance of somehow the most random Mangonel hits. So I believe Vivi, well, he's sitting on 2 TCs, that knows that he cannot really expand either. This has to be GG any second.
I'm looking forward to how if Vivi can do anything. He's that aggressive player we love, but at the moment, 49 military compared to 20. Viper just having such a strong combination of Knights and Cavalry Archers, one of the, I guess, most expensive combinations in the game.
Yeah, but it's enough, and now the Mangonel is going down. I call 6 seconds.
Here comes that pincer. I reckon that was 6 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. So, it simply is the Viper running around and controlling the pawn so much better. And then the eco balance. That's what I said, right? I thought like Vivi had too many farms. And the Viper played with the 0 farms for at least like 5 minutes in Castle Age, then had more CA, had still everything working super smoothly for him. And I think simply the fact that he ignored farming and had the extra fishing ship won him the game.
It's a huge difference overall. I remember a long time ago when build orders and things were really in discussion. Viper was one of the people who said, I don't rely on build orders overall. I want to be able to manage my economy in real time. And obviously that's what we're seeing right here, right now.
Yeah, and he's so good at adjusting to that. We still have to question like Vivi canceling that fire galley there in the south and building galleys and then losing that pawn. I think if it's 2v2 pawns, the game goes way longer and on even footage.
Oh, absolutely. The economy is just there for both players, pushing it straight away. In this sense, we had Viper it was really even for so long, then all of a sudden, Viper just pulled ahead thanks to that economy management.
Okay, let's move over into the stats. Oh, KD, well, it is tough. If you want have the lower numbers in those CA fights, it just snowballed so heavily in your face, and we saw that 90 to 50 kills here.
That's bizarre, and it's that efficiency we were kind of talking about there that makes a really big difference. Choosing those efficient trades, getting those pincers where your opponent can't get away from. I think we saw 2 or 3 there from Viper. Just honestly fantastic control, and he's making the use of that as best he can.
And funnily enough, if you add up all the resources, the Viper only has like 1.4k more. So I saw that his wheelbarrow was pretty late. Maybe he was lacking some other eco upgrades there because he had like 20 more villagers, like, and that includes fishing ships. So a bit surprising to me, but it was just the efficiency.
End of the day, that's what Age of Empires it is. It is a resource management sim essentially at its core. And if you have more resource, you're using them more effectively. Easy way to win games.
And now I'm excited for game number 3. Zach, tell us, what are we looking for?
It's Acropolis, and well, it's 2-0 to the Viper right now, so it's match point as well. This is going to be a super open map. Obviously, no water on this one. It's going to be all about the land aggression. It's an open map. It's a map that's hard to wall. I'd like to see Vivi go for some early aggression, maybe go forward. It's a risky move, but you can't let the Viper play his own game. You have to play the game on your terms. And so I'd like to see Vivi try for that here.
Yeah, and that's what we said before, right? Turk, you pointed out, it's so tough to wall, and scouts are super strong.
Oh, that's what we're looking for here. And if Vivi's proven anything thus far in the series, 2-0 doesn't phase him. He can come back, he can get the win, he can do it.
Well, he did it versus Leary. Let's see if he can do it versus the Viper. Obviously, Leary's a fantastic player, but Viper is the Viper. So we'll have to wait and see, right? I mean, this is the thing. I want to see Vivi playing on his terms, because when he does that, I think that's going to give him the biggest advantage versus Viper, right? Viper is one of those players that likes to play comfortably. He doesn't like to be taken out of the comfort zone. And Vivi's the kind of player that can take him out of his comfort zone. So we'll have to wait and see.
Indeed, and I feel like this is a good map for Vivi. We are ready to go, so jump into the game whenever. Remember, we had, like I just talked about it in the last series, but the Viper really struggled at NAC when he played on Acropolis. Forward wood lines, people towered that, M&A aggression, and he went for scouts. It is tough to defend. Let's hope Vivi will try to exploit exactly that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Escape Champions League. We are in game number 3 of the semi-finals here. Oh, sorry, the finals now, actually. I'm getting overexcited. I want more games. At this point, we've got the Viper playing in his trademark yellow towards the south of the map. We are 1 game away from a potential victory for the Viper. 2 wins compared to 0 from Vivi. Nilly, bring us in. What do you got?
Well, we have a Slav mirror here. As we said before, it's good to have a lot of mobile units on this map, so tough to wall. So having more food for your scouts and knights because of the Slav farm bonus, a beautiful thing.
Oh, absolutely, mate. And seeing a Slav war on this, we can expect heavy siege, heavy units. Hopefully we get that late game. But on a map like this, where it's so hard to wall, feudal age aggression, that's what we want to see.
And we absolutely will. Basically, like fast castling this, you need to have like all the resources at one screen and do something like Marian action or something. No option here for Slavs. We will see a lot of scouts, maybe an M&A aggression. And if so, then from Vivi.
That's it. I would love to see something like this. Vivi really proving himself as such an aggressive player overall. In a game like this, where there's no option for walls, Vivi's been able to make things happen early. He came from 2-0 before against Leary. He's got the option here to really kind of bring it back into his terms. What do you think, and how do you think he can utilize the map perfectly to get that victory?
Well, as we said several times, the question is, do you build your lumber camp at your home base, or do you try to go back from your plateau and build it at the downside? And if you decide to, how will you try to protect it? Well, that's a question you have to ask yourself, and you have to ask yourself, how will my enemy try to be aggressive there?
That's it, mate. And we can see that we've already got Vivi moving down off his hill. Sadly, got an idol next to that lumber camp already there, making a little bit of a late game blunder. Could be worse, but at the same time, idols aren't what we want to see. Feudal, dark, that's when players can get ahead very, very quickly.
Yeah, snowball effect in RTS, so often mentioned, and well, it is a real thing, so it is just not the best thing here. We have a house for Vivi kind of late, I would say, right? No, we'll just fit in time, all good. Getting his spawn out, already pushed into deer. We'll have a pretty solid eco. Did he find his... Oh, he didn't find his second boar yet to the south of his base.
Interesting to see how this goes down from here. Overall, luring in a couple of deer there for Vivi's Viper doing the same. Looks like he hasn't gone for the deer lures yet. They're actually hiding all the way in the back by the looks of things. Does make it a little bit harder to get them across.
Yeah, well, it's tricky for sure. And well, both berry placements not like ideal, I would say. And let's see, Vivi in the end saw the boar there was somewhat in the shadow, but he saw it regardless. And now it's time to scout the enemy.
That's it. So looking at what the players have kind of seen at the moment, Viper does have that back gold. It looks like he could suffer a little bit with saturation on it. Back stone as well, back berries. Honestly, good setup in terms of being able to push back and defend against it if he loses the front of his base. How is Vivi looking?
Well, I think Vivi's map, well, my dream scenario isn't really that important because he's the guy dictating the game and going for the aggression, but we already see 2 farms out of him, so that won't be any M&As.
That's a shame. It would have been nice to see him get aggressive because that's where he's been playing at his best in this tournament thus far. Getting in, doing the damage nice and early, and just hammering that advantage home.
Yeah, and that kind of is the, if we have to name a single weakness of the Viper, it is maybe screwing up against some early aggressions there. He's going for a farm as well, no M&As from him, and, well, we will see who goes for what strategy. I wouldn't be surprised to see double scouts.
Oh, that's it, man. Double scouts on a map like this, we've got so much mobility option. You can get into the resources so easy, maneuver them around. It's to be expected, and whoever's got that better control gets a couple of spears out, gets the lucky hits in the right locations. That's what it comes down to.
See, what do the players see of each other? Feels like no one really scouted a lot. They are more concerned with their own bases, did push some deer. Oh, Vivi in the TC of the Viper, no!
Oh, that hurts very, very early on. It's going to delay his scout push out, going to delay his knowledge on what's going on the map. Man, oh, that hurts.
Oh, and we saw it earlier today how Leary, with losing his scout, was in such a big pickle, not really knowing what to do and underreacted to a forward. This will be so tricky. Oh, what would you recommend Vivi going for? Still just scouts?
Well, either way, he needs to get those scouts out so he can go and have the maneuverability. Losing his scout there wouldn't surprise me if he does decide to get a couple of extra spears out just in case. But I wonder if this is going to push something from the Viper. Maybe he's lost his scout. Will Viper try and capitalize on that and get a little bit more aggressive than normal?
I think makes sense. He knows he's 1 scout ahead. And I just feel like this is the toughest map kind of to lose your scout, right? Because you see the stone area so early and shouldn't really ever run into a scout. But, well, it happened. And now Vivi needs to make something happen as well.
It hurts, man. It absolutely hurts. Scouts coming up from Viper. The stable is up. Getting a mini wall off there towards the front as well actually wouldn't be too bad to wall off that east side of the map. He's got the option there. We see the stable coming up a little bit slower for Vivi, but there it is. Getting the defensive spears out, though. I like the fact he's got the spears out defensively.
Only 1 spearman yet, though. And I feel this is a map where going mass spearman is a good option. Maybe you wanted to squeeze in horse color before that, now transitions back into production. No, not really. And the Viper, therefore, will have all the aggression. And you see that will be 2 spearmen and 2 scouts against 1 spearman, 2 scouts. Uh-oh, some problems.
Viper not even worried at the moment, rallying his unit straight to the front. It just basically feels that he won't be able to see it. There's the spear aggression overall versus spear. Can get rid of that one. And the fast wall, gonna be quick enough.
Oh, beautiful quick walls. We'll lose 1 villager there most likely, but, well, now that opens villager aggression to get the tower up, but I love how Vivi played it so far.
Oh, the play there, the micro from Viper, moving the scouts in front of the villager, just so he couldn't get away. Will he go for the kill? Gonna lose the spear, but gets the villager.
And he has to be fine with that for sure. Spearman aggression continues. The Viper, is he going for the tower? Is he transitioning into gold and will go for archers?
Oh man, the transition this early as well. Man, this is what we kind of saw in one of the earlier maps with Yo. He transitioned into archers too early. Do you feel confident the Viper's going to be able to make it happen, or will he kind of get outmassed by scouts and get beaten away at?
We'll see. It feels like the transition into somewhat towers is what he's going for. And oh, Vivi, the master of anticipation, already coming with his defensive tower.
I love it. He sees it coming. The game sense is good. We've also got Vivi moving in towards Viper's base with a couple of scouts. Potential error on the berries there if they get in and do a little bit of damage. The farmers all relatively well kept though.
Yeah.
Oh, stone miners.
Uh-oh, stone miners indeed. Need 2 more hits. 1 down. The other one will get home though.
Ooh, that's a good find. That's just good timing in general. Vivi going to be able to do a little bit of damage and hopefully onto those berries as well. I don't know if those villagers on the berries will really be able to stand up too much here. Viper actually not retreating them.
That's surprising, right? No walls either, and that's like super confusing.
Do you think Viper's getting overconfident?
I think his patrol was too short with the scouts. They went back. I believe he patrolled too shortly, did send them in, but, well, it will be 1 villager lost. That's still okay.
Getting right under the TC there. Going to get the garrison in time. I like it. Potentially getting those scouts out of there on the right angle, avoiding the arrow fire. Fantastic job from Vivi getting in. Just getting the damage and the poking and prods where he can.
And meanwhile, he did some quick vaults there with trying to get his own tower up at the front. Something I didn't see, but, well, maybe that distracted him that much.
Oh, let's have a look. The tower's going up slowly but surely. The spear's trying to deny it as best as possible. Obviously, the scouts moving. Will he lose the palisade? Nope. That's just good control.
Look at the military count here, 11-6. Vivi, he can make something happen here. The Viper going on to gold now. That's unprotected. The berries at the back, not really taken again. And double archery range.
Interesting. We might be running into that same problem we had earlier, where there just wasn't enough archers out to deal with the amount of scouts on field. Looking at it, like Vivi's got a lot of scouts. He's committed quite heavily here, coming in for a raid on the gold as well. Hopefully, going to be able to push them off and delay archer production even further.
Let's take a look. The Viper, he needs some quick ones at his gold spot. Is not getting it. This is good for Vivi.
This is great for Vivi at the moment. Getting in, doing the damage where he can. So looks like he's trapping one villager. Potentially going to get the second on the way to the TC there as well. Get the hit.
2 kills.
Got him.
The Viper suddenly stuck 600 food, 15 gold. He was ready to go Castle Age any second, but not going to happen.
Interesting. This is a really good play from Vivi. He's biding his time. He's not overcommitting. This is what we saw him do in the other games. He just gets very, very methodical with his movements. Moves in slowly, gets the kill, gets out.
And indeed, the guerrilla tactic you called it before. And he's going for another kill. That's only one spearman to defend there. The Viper underproducing spearman. That was the Yo mistake against him before. And let's see, another wall. Somewhat getting up. The villager safe. Not going to happen. This looks good for Vivi.
This looks really good for Vivi overall, actually. He's slowly beating away at Viper's villager count. He's keeping his military count up. Viper's starting to get some archers there, but the big thing being, the amount he's denying and harassing that gold, he can't get his archer count up.
Wow, tricky stuff. Viper now abusing the market. Good for him. 800 food, 200 gold. Can click up any second. Now he is. Let's take a look over at the resources of Vivi. How is he looking?
Ooh, Vivi at the moment, he's gotten a tower up on his wood there as well. He's anticipating that some kind of push is going to come from the Viper. Going for a tower on his gold as well. So really defending up here. I think he knows what's coming, but Bloodline's there for Vivi as well. Hopefully he can get in, do a little bit of damage before Viper hits castle.
He needs to do that. Bloodlines, questionable upgrade if you ask me. Can he really get the damage done? And is like the HP on those scouts really that important? Well, he tries to still get something rolling, but the Viper now super aware and finally wards his gold.
This is a little bit of an issue right now. We've got Viper's quick walls. Looks like he's back on point with that. The Palisade Gates, the house coming up. Honestly, looking a little bit better control here. Castle Age just about in for Viper, though. I don't know what the answer that Vivi's going to have for that is.
The most important thing is to keep Viper at his base as long as possible. We don't see him with any archer ranges yet. Blacksmith in the back. He will click up in like 30 seconds as well, but that will be 2.5 minutes difference. The Tower of Vivi doesn't look like he will go up.
That's going to be rough. The crossbows, well, the soon-to-be crossbows moving in now. Spears, there's 3 spears there at the lumber camp, ready to stop any kind of engagement from Vivi. Man, Viper's just playing this one. I guess he's playing it defensively now, moving into that position where he doesn't want to get taken advantage of any more than he already has.
The tower at the gold needs to go up. You know, the push is coming in. The Viper knows he has a timing moving forward. The tower will go up, but with some losses.
This is just a strong timing attack in general. Crossbow's about to drop, Bodkin's about to drop, getting the kills where he can, trying to get minimal losses on it, dealing with the spears. That was a good play.
Actually, only 1 villager down, but now the crossbowmen, they know, okay, gold is safe. Let's go somewhere else. Vivi needs to tower up even further.
Oh man, just Vivi at the moment is getting pushed back, and this isn't what I wanted to see. Because Vivi's at his best when he's playing aggressively. He just needs to hold out till Castle Age now, get some units out, and kind of push from there. Second, or even secondary stable coming up now as well. Going to be able to get potentially some knights out of there, deal with the crossbows. But the thing being, if they mass too much, issues.
Oh yeah, and speaking of issues, that tower doesn't have a friend to protect him, so the crossbowmen can sit themselves under the tower, and that's blocking roughly 8 farms or something. And well, you need a lot of farms to get your knight production rolling. Plus 1 defense now finished, so he will go into knights for sure, but not looking too pretty.
Looking rough, but definitely not over yet. Knight production, of course, especially if you get some armor upgrades on them, gonna be in a good place to deal with low amounts of crossbows. As soon as they start getting that mass up towards that death ball, that's where our issue is.
Oh, and issues all around now. More Knights of the Viper even coming now, trying to find some holes against the wood line there. The tower going down to 250 HP. Crossbowman at the front. Oh god, it's so much yellow on the map.
I'm looking at it and it's not looking great. Viper doing his trademark eco up behind any kind of aggression he does. Second town center coming up in the back there against the wood line and the stone.
Oh yeah, and that's a beautiful TC. Protecting gold, stone, and woodline. He's even speed building it. Love that. Crossbowman still staying very aggressive here. I believe Vivi now even going for the monastery. Will continue to produce more knights, but the Viper already preparing the counter to that.
Exactly, is into knights himself. Overall, this is a part of the game when we say Vivi needs to make something happen. He's fallen behind overall just by a little bit in terms of that extra TC coming up, but he needs to do something special now to bring it back to even.
Oh, well, and how do you do that? So many crossbowmen still out. The Viper is switching on to pikemen. Only 1 barracks though, but now heavy blow, increasing his food efficiency there as well. And Vivi, well, can he get up to more TCs?
That's going to be the question that's going to be answered very, very shortly. We've got some knights in Viper's base. Again, like I said, moving out, trying to make something happen. But that TC you were talking about, the beautiful one, it just defends so much.
Oh yeah, and you see crossbowmen can't even fit in there. Let's take a look. The knights, well, they can't really find a single kill. The Viper, just absolutely bulletproof.
Oh, that's it. He's just so smart in the way he builds up his eco at the moment. Third TC up on the front wood line there as well. So ecoing up behind this. All he's trying to do is just keep Vivi in his base and keep him from pushing out.
Okay, now Bolsaw for Vivi with wheelbarrows, so increasing his eco there quite a bit. Military count brutally in favor of the Viper. Ay. You're the coach of Vivi now. What do you tell him?
It is rough. If I was the coach of Vivi, what would I say? At this point, he just needs to defend, utilize those monks, get some more villager count up, some TCs to kind of get some defense, and just kind of build up, sit behind, and just push back anything, and try and get as many converts as he can.
Siege, yes or no?
The thing is, at the moment, I think I'm seeing quite a few crossbows from Viper, so Siege is a good option. The only thing is he has to be very careful to defend those, because Viper's already expressed he will go into Knights if he has to.
Oh yeah, and he's showing the pikeman tag now as well. Not a real upgrade. That's one
Man,
defense.
those pikes. It's just such a good preemptive move there. He knew that the transition to Knights were happening. He got the spears out. He had some spears left over, went up into pikes, and now he's got the armor upgrade for them as well.
Oh man, and adding more barracks now, going up to 3, so it might be even the Viper going for the siege here. We see Siege Workshop now trying to go for, well, potentially that could even be the spot to go for Scorpions instead of Mangonauts.
It's a good point, actually. The way they group together, the pikes on top of there as well, they will get forced into a smaller concave, I would say, attacking the Knights. It's a good option.
Well, we'll see. The Viper is super clumped up. We'll get some kills done here. Loves his positioning again, blocking some farms. Did see the Siege Workshop going up, though, or did he not? He knows about it. This guy has balls.
Absolutely. Look, at this point, I think he's just ahead, and he knows he's ahead. He's trying to make anything he can happen. 37 military compared to the 13 of Vivi. 68 villages compared to the 47. He's ahead. He's going to play Viper style, which is putting the pressure on, not overcommitting, but still poking and prodding, trying to get that damage in.
Oh man, it's never a good sign. If you're at 1 TC, trying to go for the 1 TC all-in push, but actually your enemy is pushing you and you need to run back. Tricky situation for you.
It's rough. The crossbow amount at the moment there too, they're starting to not get so afraid of Knights. Put the bulk of the pikemen at the front there. It's just a hard force to engage into. I also like the transition to crossbow pike, because now those monks are nearly useless.
Oh, let's take a look. Hill advantage here. This could be the last fight of this tournament here. If those pikemen are getting the great engagement, they are able to. And Vivi just losing all his knights.
The pike bonus here is just brutal to watch, even on the uphill. The crossbow's just sitting behind that bulk, doing the damage. There's your Scorpion, though.
Oh man, and the Scorpion won't really save reasonable mangonels here. The Viper, well, running out of pikes, but the crossmen are mitering back all the knights who had so little HP. The Viper still with quite a bit left there, and he's fine. He knows that he has the better eco. Just trading evenly is totally fine for him. He can group up the same army pretty soon. Vivi, no chance to do the same.
Oh, it's so rough right now. It's just one of those things where Viper can just continually push into this, try and keep the army count down, so then Vivi doesn't have the option to push out. He has to sit at home and defend.
Yeah, and it's always the gold spot, so running away, there's no option. Finally, the second TC from Vivi there at the left-hand side, kind of giving him hope for the long game, but the Viper, you know what ended game number 2.
Oh, man, it's just not a good position to be in. Viper just putting so much pressure on here. And the thing is as well, the more pressure on you, you don't have the time to kind of look around and expand. You don't have the time to micromanage your eco. You're trying not to die.
Oh, so tough. And, well, he is not dying against pikemen and crossbowmen, but now the real knight switch is around. The Viper even trying to hide it, trying to send them back, but now going for the kill. Only one monk there to convert against that military count. Triple for the Viper.
Oh, he's on 4 stables, a 5th stable coming up. He's got 3 barracks up ready to go. He's about to go for his push.
Oh no, and Vivi, so happy. I finally have a second. And the Viper's building a castle in your face.
This is not good. That castle as well, going to be so brutal. Basically just continually locked down the side of the map. He's going to be able to take that gold spot, use it as a staging position. In come the knights.
Ooh, big man shot in the center though. Hallelujah. That game deciding thing. It was in the end the GG. The castle was going up at the left hand side. And the Viper is our first champion of ECL Europe East 1v1 edition.
Man, Viper proving his dominance here. Vivi putting up a really good fight in the maps, but Viper just managing to eco ahead everywhere somewhere. This has been phenomenal.
Oh, and this guy's just so good. We saw how he, well, it basically was if ACCM, like he looked the best against him, right? In the first round there. And after that, the Viper just ran over Yo and Vivi today. Impressive stuff. Well, but the best series was the other semifinal.
I believe the only game that Viper's lost in this series now is against ACCM, which may have honestly been one of my favorite games from the tournament, but that was all over the place.
Who can stop this guy? Obviously, Civ picks were better. We had 2 mirror matches and one kind of outpick there in game number 1, so that's obviously a sweet lead for him. And here, what was really the thing? Losing the scout for Vivi?
Losing the scout.
It seems like we're already in the bracket stage, so let's Dak take over.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I just wanted to show real quick the current standings, actually, with Viper taking the win there. As much as that was him winning the game and winning the 1v1 for himself, he's also won it for his team. Secret there with 7 points at the top of the table, but interestingly, it's Frantic in second place with 4 points, followed by AM and SY tied with 3. So it's looking good for Secret already. And I just want to remind everyone that the Europe East will be continued with the 4v4 series, and that will be in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, sorry, I wanted to get that covered before people tune out. Go ahead, carry on with your analysis of that game. We can go and look at the statistics as well.
The only thing I want to grab from you as well, Zach, I believe a player can only play so many 1v1s in the entire cup.
That is right.
So Viper.
That is right. There are four 1v1 events. Viper can only play 2.
So we are not going to see Viper in all of these events. They will rely on the team as well.
Exactly. Exactly. Teams can only submit each of their player twice to the 1v1 events. So players or teams have to utilize all 4 of their players and rotate them out throughout the year. And that means that they're really being tested as a whole team, and you can't just have one player who carries you to victory.
But it's obviously so nice to be part of Team Secret. And you know that, like, let's say Dowd and Viper already performed pretty well in game 1 and 2, or like series 1 and 2. And then getting coached by them, pushed to the limits because they want you to perform so well. That has to be like the greatest environment as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think that the team spirit is going to be huge. But, you know, this is the 1v1 event. 1v1 is a completely different story to 4v4. And in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be having the Europe East 4v4 competition. And that's when I think teams like Suomi, the Finnish team, they're going to come out and suddenly just be like a huge threat to everyone, right? So this tournament has so much to offer in terms of the different formats and the different styles. It's really going to put the teams through their paces every step of the way.
It's a huge saying just in general. A team of champions does not make a champion.